بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. We'll continue our discussion on the book of Tawheed, the book of monotheism, and we have reached chapter 30. And the theme of this chapter is that there are belief systems that can be a belief of kufr, that a person can have, that person may not even know. That a person may have, but he may not know. They are Muslims, obviously, but they may carry a belief system that is kufr, but they do not know the way that a person. And these beliefs, they can come either from a person's, from the enemies of Allah Azza wa Jal. And it could be from the things that we learn maybe in schools or in societies. And the way to get rid of this, the way to purify our hearts from this belief system is by learning. Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentioned regarding the Jews and the Christians, Allah mentioned regarding them, وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَا يَرُدُّونَكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا حَسَدًا. Allah said that many of the people of the book, they wish to turn you after your belief to disbelievers, due to the envy and jealousy from themselves. And Allah Azza wa Jal also mentioned learning, understanding the religion, because this is part of understanding religion. Knowing, understanding religion is important. Allah combined it with jihad. Allah command with jihad, because jihad is to fight the enemy, but Allah make it that part of that is having the knowledge of the deen. As Allah mentioned Surah At-Tawbah, verse 122, Allah said, ما كان للمؤمنين لينفروا كافة. It is not for the believers, all of them, to travel all together to jihad. ولولا نفر من كل فرقة منهم طائفة. That when they go to jihad, some of them go to jihad, but a lot of the people that stay back, a lot of them that stay back should gain understanding of the deen. وَلَوْلَا نَفَرَ مِنْ كُلِّ فِرْقَةٍ مِنْهُمْ طَائِفَةٌ لِيَتَفَقَّهُوا فِي الدِّينِ, that they gain understanding of the religion. وَلِيُنذِرُوا قَوْمَهُمْ إِذَا رَجَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ, so that they can warn their people when they come back from jihad. They can tell them what to tell them. لِيُنذِرُوا قَوْمَهُمْ إِذَا رَجَعُوا لَعَلَّهُمْ يَحْذَرُونَ, so that they can be aware of evil. So they can be aware of evil. A lot of things that happens to Muslims in history of Islam, and even in these current times, is because we are not able to tell our friends from an enemy. Because through knowledge, that's why you ever tell your friends from your enemy. Through knowledge, you can be able to tell the friends from the enemy. Some people, they come with smiling face, and they have the acronyms before their names. Doctor this, Sheikh that, and so on and so forth. And they're eloquent, but they may come to us not having our best interest at heart. But I will be able to tell It's by what they are teaching us. But we need knowledge for this. As the scholars will say, تعرف الحق وتعرف أهله. Know the truth, and you will know the people of the truth. Right? If you know the truth, you will know the people of the truth. But if you don't know the truth, you cannot know the people of the truth. You cannot know the people of the truth. A lot of the colonization happened to the Muslim countries. Look at many of the countries that have been secularized now in this time. Is because they did not have, a lot of them didn't have knowledge. So the enemy of the religion, they came under the guise of charity. We just came to, we're going to spend money on you guys and this, that. Can we do, like this do now? Foreign aid. They give them money, but it comes with certain things. Right? Brainwashing them, doing things that's upon the religion. This is, some of the disbelievers, they have more knowledge of the deen than some of us. Especially the Yahud. They have knowledge of the deen. They know Quran more than we know. If you look at the Orientalists, some of them wrote books about the deen. So the point is that some of the belief system that we have, and inshallah when we get to the chapter, it's going to go into that. That some of the beliefs that we have sometimes, it's not true knowledge that we are able to purify some of these belief systems. We have to separate ourselves through true knowledge from this belief that we had, whether it's the belief that we learn from the schools. All right, in schools they teach what's that thing they do? Greek mythology. What is that? Big Bang theory and all that stuff. This kufr. This is a kufr belief system that the world just happened from nothing. All that stuff. Evolution, all of that. This kufr. All those things are kufr. Right? And a person believing in that, we have to be billah. So this is part of learning. Is when you know. Learn when you know that this, when a person doesn't know, we still think he's a believer, we have to be less not a believer. Right. So we are in chapter 30. The Sheikh mentions Bab ma ja fil istisqa bil anwa'. He said what has been reported regarding seeking rain from the phases of the moon. The moon has phases, different positioning. So what has been reported regarding seeking rain from the moon, Sheikh Salih Fawzan Hafidahullah explained this chapter. He says the reason why the author Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Wahhab brought this chapter is that he said لما كان نسبة النزول المطر إلى النوع على وجه الاعتقاد. He says since ascribing rain to the position of the moon, believing in this, believing this kind of stuff, that the moon has an effect in the rain falling. He says, Sheikh said, this is Shirk al-Akbar. He said that this is Shirk al-Akbar, major shirk. He said, just like the belief of those who believe that the dead and the dead people have the ability to bring about good and prevent evil. Say that's disbelief, having this, ascribing rain. It's having this belief that the rain comes through, or the moon, position of the moon has the effect on the rain falling. Right? It's connected to the position of the moon. It's like those who believe that the dead have the ability to bring about good and prevent evil. He says, or it can be minor shirk. So a person believing that the moon the moon, the position of the moon has the ability that brings out rain. It's as if a person saying that it has the ability to bring about good and prevent evil. This is the belief of those who believe in the dead. Or a person can have a minor shirk, which is to believe that they are the means. I mean, believing this is a means. It's not itself, but this moon they are the means to the rain falling. So this is a minor shirk, Sheikh says. So because of this, Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, he wrote the chapter, what has been said about this, ascribing the rain, the falling of the rain to the position of the moon. So the Sheikh says that the position of the moon, he said, وَهِيَ الْمَنَازِلَ الْقَمَرِ is the position of the qamar, the moon, right? It has, the Sheikh says, وَهِيَ ثَمَانِيَةُ وَعِشْرُونَ مَنْزِلَةً. So it has 27 phases. 28 phases. It has 28 phases. He said, وَكُلَّ لَيْلَةٍ مَنْزِلَةً كُلُّ لَيْلَةٍ مَنْزِلَةً مِنْهَا. So every night, the one drops from it. ينزل القمر كل ليلة منزلة منها. So every night, one of them comes out from it, or is removed from it. So the Sheikh, he says that, the Sheikh says, وَيَزْدُمُ الْعَرَبِ فِي الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ أَنَّ إِذَا غَابَ الْوَاحِدْ مِنْهَا. He said that in Jahiliyyah that the kuffar of Quraysh, they used to believe that one of these phases is gone, right? وَطَلَعَ رَاقِبُهُ, that when the next one comes, or the one that's coming after it comes, then it means that rain is going to fall. وَيَنْسِبُونَهُ إِلَى طُلُوعِ النَّجْمِ, and they ascribe to the stars and so on and so forth. So the Shaykh mentioned the first evidence. Let's move on to the first evidence. It says, it's the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, where Allah said in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, where Allah said, وَتَجْعَلُونَ رِزْقَكُمْ أَنَّكُمْ تُكَذِّبُونَ. So Allah said that in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, verse 82, where Allah rebuke the kuffar of Quraysh of ascribing the rain to the moon, that they are liars. That they are liars. So the Shaykh said, from the benefit of this hadith, of the verse, it says, إِبْطَالِ النِّسْبَةُ النُّزُولِ الْمَطَّرِ إِلَى الْأَنْوَاءِ. It says, from the benefit of this verse is that falsifying the descent of the rain to the moon, the position of the moon. That's the first one. It says, وَنِسْبَةُ النُّزُولِ الْمَطَّرِ إِلَى الْأَنْوَاءِ كَذِبٌ, that as a person ascribing the fall of the rain to the moon is a lie. And it says, the third benefit is that وجوب شكر الله على نعمه ووجوب النسبة نزول المطر إليه تفضلا منه وإحسانا. That a person, right, the obligation of thanking Allah for His blessings, and the obligation of ascribing rain to Allah, that is from the favors of Allah, that a person should not ascribe the rain to other than Allah. That a person should not ascribe the rain to other than Allah. Then the author, rahimahullah, he brought the evidence, he brought another hadith to support the topic. Hadith reported by Abi Malik al-Ashari, radiyallahu anhu. He said, the Prophet ﷺ said, أربع في أمتي من أمر جاهلية لا يتركونهن. That The Prophet said that there are 4 affairs in my ummah, that affairs of jahiliyyah, that they will not leave it alone. Right? That there's going to be 4 affairs in my ummah, that is affairs of jahiliyyah that they will not leave alone. The first one is al-fakhru fil ahzab. Al-fakhru fil ahzab. That al-fakhru fil ahzab means to be proud of a person's grandfather and lineage like that. My grandfather was such and such, right? We are I'm from a noble tribe and so on and so forth. That's the first one. Wata'an fil ansab, and that is to belittle or to disrespect another person's lineage. And he said, وَالْإِسْتِسْقَاء بِالنُّجُومِ, and seeking the rain from the moon, which is the reason why I brought this evidence. Seeking the rain from the moon. And the fourth one is وَالنِّهَايَةُ عَلَى الْمَيِّتِ, and to wail over the dead. To wail over, meaning that to wail what? What's it mean to wail over the dead?
At the graveside.
It doesn't have to be necessarily the graveside.
To grieve like be real extra.
Yeah, exactly. That's something the woman would do, right? Flam in the face and go crazy, and and they just maybe take all their clothes off, pass out. I mean, passing out. Yeah, I mean, if you pass out, a person can pass out due to, but to go extra with it and just rip the clothes off and just act like a mad person and scream and yell, and this is wailing, right? So you mentioned that these 4 things from this ummah that will never leave. That will never leave this is affairs of jahiliyyah. The affairs that people used to do before jahiliyyah. That the ummah will, some of the people in the ummah will do it. And the first one, al-fakhr bil ahsab, to be proudful, right? To be proudful of one's lineage. It doesn't mean to me it's to be proudful in a way that, if blameworthy manner.
Be arrogant and look down on other folks.
Naam, exactly, naam. To look down on other people. All right? Wata'an fil ansab, and to belittle other people's lineage. Who are you? You're nobody. Yeah? You're such a, your parents are slaves. Or something crazy like that. All right? That's how people do. They belittle people. وَالْإِسْتِسْقَاء بِالنُّجُومِ, and seeking rain from the moon. وَالنِّهَايَةَ عَلَى الْمَيِّتِ, and wailing over the dead. So the Shaykh mentioned from the benefit of this hadith, تحريم الاستسقاء بالأنواع وإنه أمور جاهلية. He said from the benefits that the prohibition of seeking rain from the moon, or the position of the moon, that is from the affairs of jahiliyyah. It's affairs of jahiliyyah. And some of this, of course, alhamdulillah, we know this kind of stuff, but from the benefit of learning this kind of stuff is that, like I said, the enemies of Allah, they come in different ways in trying to introduce some of kufr belief system. From that is what they do in schools. So knowing this, having knowledge of this, it helps us to pass this on, inshallah, for those who may not know. Even though it's not something that's common around here. So the Shaykh says, أن ما كان من الأمر الجاهلية لا يترك الناس كلهم. It says, she said, from the benefit of this is that whatever is from the affairs of Jahiliyyah, not everyone will leave it alone. No, not everyone will leave it, something from Jahiliyyah. Some people will leave it and some others will not leave it. He said, أن من كان من الأمر الجاهلية وفعلهم فهو مذموم في دين الإسلام. Allahu Akbar. It says that, and whatever, Sheikh says that, whatever is from the affairs of Jahiliyyah, and what people do from Jahiliyyah, that it is blameworthy in Islam in general. This is the foundation. Whatever people do that's free of Jahiliyyah, the asl is that it is blameworthy unless there's a text and from the Quran and the Sunnah says that it's not blameworthy. Everything that we know of that is from Jahiliyyah, majority of it, it's not that it is opposition, generally opposition to the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. So the Shaykh says, also from the benefit of this hadith, تحريم الافتخار بالأحساب وهنا من الأمور الجاهلية. And from the benefit of the hadith, prohibition of being proudful or being prideful of a person's lineage that is from affairs of Jahiliyyah. And from the benefit of the hadith, the Shaykh says, تحريم الوقوع في الأنساب وذمها وتنقصها. And also from prohibition of speaking ill of a person's lineage and belittling them. Right? It's not permissible. وتحريم النهاية وبيان عقوبتها عليه السلام الله وأنها من الكبائر. That also prohibition of wailing over the dead and the punishments. And of course, I didn't mention that. There's a punishment that was mentioned that. There's a punishment that's connected to that. That a person wails, there's a punishment for that. That is also from the major sins. وأن التوبة تكفر and I didn't mention that. We'll mention that. طيب. Let's move on, inshallah. وأن المسلم قد يكون فيه شيء من الخصال الجاهلية ولا يقتدي ذلك كفره. That a Muslim may have something of Jahiliyyah in them, but does not necessitate that it is a disbeliever. That a Muslim can have something of Jahiliyyah in them, but does not necessitate that is a disbeliever. Type. So the last hadith we're going to mention, inshallah, is hadith reported by Zayd bin Khalid al-Juhani. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet mentioned a hadith reported by Zayd bin Juhani رضي الله عنه. That Prophet said, he said that Prophet prays a salah for he led us in salah after Fajr, before the Fajr, just after the Fajr, there was a rain. He said, فَلَمَّا انصَرَفَ. So when the Prophet finished from the Salah of Fajr, he turned to us. فَقَالَ أَتَدْرُونَ مَا قَالَ رَبُّكُمْ. So he said, Prophet said to the companions, did you know what your Lord said? Did you know what your Lord said? قَالُوا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَعْلَمُ. They said that Allah and His Messenger knows best. He said, قَالَ أَصْبَحَ مِنْ عِبَادِي مُؤْمِنٌ بِي وَكَافِرٌ. So he said, Allah has just said that some of my slave or some of my servants are disbelieving me. Some of my servants are believer in me, and some of my servants are they have become disbeliever in me. فأما من قال مطرنا بفضل الله ورحمته فذلك مؤمن بي وكافر بالكوكب. So the Prophet said that as for the ones who say that because of that the rain has come to us, or we received the rain by the mercy of Allah and His blessings, these are the believer in me. Because of course we mentioned that the Prophet the Fajr prayer happened just after the rain fell, and he's turning around to the companions telling them this. He said that Allah said that some of my servants have disbelieved in me, some of them have believed in me, and some of them are disbelieving me. As for those who say that the rain come to us by Allah, Allah bless us with this rain, those are the believer in me, and those are the disbeliever in the Kawkab. Those are the ones that disbelieve in the stars and the moons and so on and so forth. أما من قال مطرنا بنوء كذا وكذا. As for the ones who say that we received this rain from the position of this such and such moon, فذلك كافر بي, and these are the disbeliever in me. Meaning those who believe that say that the rain happens due to the position of the face of the moon, this face of the moon or that face of the moon, these are the disbelievers in me. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَمُؤْمِنُ بِالْكَوْكَبِ, and these are the believers in the Kawkab and the stars. طيب. So the Shaykh, he mentioned the benefit of this hadith. And before I can mention benefit, this is the reason why this hadith is the reason why I mentioned what I mentioned at the beginning of the beginning of the lesson, where I said that some of the people didn't know this. The companions did not know this, right? Because some of them are still some of them are new to Islam. Just like the hadith that was mentioned, the hadith of seeking blessing from the trees. You guys remember the hadith, right? They were new to Islam, and they were going to the battle, the companions, and they asked the Prophet ﷺ, can we hang our our weapons, our swords, just like the mushrikun were doing? And the Prophet says, Subhanallah, or say Allahu Akbar. You just asked, just like the Ben Israel asked Musa. Right? Because he asked Musa, Ijalana ilahan kama lahum alihah. They asked Musa, give us a God just like they have gods. Right? So this shows us that a person may be a Muslim, but may carry an aqidah that is disbelief. In this case, right? Because some of the people, they carry the belief of what? Seeking rain from the position of the moon. And Allah said, as for those who believe this is the case, they are disbeliever in me, and they believe in the Kawkab. Just like those people that do time of Prophet ﷺ, when they hung their sword, right? They saw the mushrikun. They hung their sword by the tree. They asked Prophet ﷺ, oh Prophet ﷺ, let us have the same thing like them. We want to have something like them. He said that this is what Brethren Israel asked them. This is what asked Musa. And this is what? Kufr. So he clarified to them. And this is the importance of learning. That he clarified to them, because some of the companions were new to Islam during that time. They were new to Islam during that time. So the benefit of the hadith is, number one, Shaykh says, تحريم النسبة النزول المطر إلى النجوم وَتَسْمَيَّتُهُ كُفْرًا. He said the prohibition of ascribing the fall of the rain to the moon, and that it is called kufr, is disbelief. It's disbelief. He says from the beginning of this hadith, مشروعية تعليم الناس وتنبيهم على ما يخل بالعقيدة. Allahu Akbar. He said the obligation of teaching the people, and letting them know that can affect their aqidah, that can affect their belief system. A belief system. He said, وَوُجُوب, the third one is وُجُوب الشُّكْرُ بِاللَّهِ عَلَى نِعْمِهِ. And from the benefit is that the obligation of thanking Allah for His blessings. All of the blessings should be ascribed to Allah Azza wa Jal. As Allah mentioned, وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Allah said, there's nothing that comes from me from blessing except from Allah Azza wa Jal. Nothing. Whatever we have, nothing at all. No matter how some of us want to, we've been deluded, or because of the society that we grew up in, or we're born in, or whatsoever, we have been deluded that whatever we do, as some people say, I did it. You get something? I did it. I'm the man, and so on and so forth. As people, some of the things that people do. All right, people when the score goes, right, they will show their muscles and stuff, right. This is from the traits of that. That obligation of ascribing the blessing to Allah Azza wa Jal, وَأَنَّهُ لَا يَجُوزُ إِضَافَتُهَا إِلَى غَيْرِهِ. And that it is not permissible to ascribe the blessing of Allah to other than Allah Azza wa Jal. It's not permissible. Whatever, and we're going to come to a chapter that's going to talk about that. We're going to come to a chapter that's going to mention before. How do you thank? If you want to thank a person, or if you want to ascribe blessings, something that happened to you, if you want to mention it and relate to other people, thumma, naam, you can say that I thank Allah and then such and such. But you have to thank Allah, and you have to put you have to put then, You have to put then. You don't say wow, you don't say wow and such and such. Don't say I thank Allah and that person. No. If you do that, it's shirk. I thank Allah and then that person. And then that person. So he says, وإلقاء التعليم على طريقة السؤال والجواب لأنه أوقع في النفس. And he says, of course we didn't do it tonight, but alhamdulillah we did it yesterday. He says, إلقاء التعليم على طريقة السؤال. He said the teaching from the answering question and answer format, teaching a question of answer and format, right? Meaning that you teach people by asking them questions to see where that this has more impact in retaining information, or it has more impact on the person retaining the information. Inshallah. Now, so he says, أنا من سؤال أما لا يعلم فإنه يتوقف ويوكل العلم إلى عالمه. He said from the benefit of this hadith is that when you ask something that you do not know, and before that, the Prophet asked the benefit of the other one that was mentioned was that the Prophet asked companions that, do you know what your Lord said? Right? He said, do you know what your Lord said? The companion says what? Allah and His Messenger knows best. Then he gave them the answer. So he said, from benefit of this, that a person, when you ask about what you do not know, you stop and you say, and you return, you say Allah knows best, or you say let's ask such and such. Who knows? Maybe he knows. Or you know, let's go to scholars, or let's go to someone who knows. That you return, but you stop at what you know. And if a very hadith is min al-kufr la yakhruj min al-millah. There's a type of kufr that does not take a person outside the fold of Islam. It's a type of kufr that does not take a person outside the fold of Islam. طيب. Sheikh, he ended with that. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم على النبي محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Inshallah, any question, inshallah, we can take it now. جزاكم الله خير.